y'all, howdy. Welcome to One for the Books. I'm Sandy Broadwell, and today we're doing the end of the year book tag. This does not mean it is the end of the year. This means we're looking ahead, thinking about the books we're going to read before the end of the year. I guess it should be called the Before the End of the Year book tag. I like doing this one because it's short and sweet and helps me kind of organize my thoughts for the rest of the year. There's only 6 questions, and the first one is, are there any books that you've started this year that you need to finish? And this year the answer is no. Of course, I have what I'm currently reading that I obviously want to finish, and that is The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. This is the first book in the Rook and Rose trilogy, and I'm having a really good time so far. There's also 3 books that I've DNF'd this year. I probably should have DNF'd a few more than 3, just based on my enjoyment levels, but the ones that I did not finish this year so far have been Sunbringer, which was the second book following Godkiller by Hannah Connor, Death of the Author by Nnedi Okorafor, which is a new release that came out this year, as well as Master and Margarita, which was one of the classics that I had planned to read this year. And I talked about that in my cat vlog. I don't think I'm going to be going back to any of those books. So yeah, I don't think I have anything really lingering unfinished that I need to accomplish before the end of the year. The second question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition you into the end of the year? And it is starting to feel like fall outside, so that's really exciting. And I've already read a few sort of transitional books. I read The Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping pretty recently, and that's a nice cozy witchy book, which always makes me think of fall, regardless of whether the book is set there or not. And I also read The Turn of the Screw, which is a gothic horror book. I will be doing a whole gothic horror reading vlog coming out around Halloween, so that was just the first book in that vlog. The other ones are going to be The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, as well as Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, so keep a lookout for that. But yeah, so those were kind of my 2 that I've read so far that have transitioned me into the fully ready for fall reading. I also think that The Mask of Mirrors is a really good fall read. It's chunky, it's got a classic court politics and political intrigue sort of vibe. It reminds me a lot of The Mask of Zorro, and I don't know why any of that would remind me of fall, but it just, I don't know. It's been a really good read for this time of the year for some reason. Question number 3 is there a new release that you are still waiting for? And yes, the answer is definitely yes. I talked about this pretty recently, so I will be sure to link that video down below. But yeah, there is a ton of new releases coming out in October and November that I am stoked about. On October 7th, we have A Mouthful of Dust by Niveau, which is the next book in the Singing Hills cycle. On October 9th, we have All That We See or Seem by Ken Liu, which is a sci-fi book by the author of The Dandelion Dynasty. On October 21st, The Isle in the Silver Sea by Tasha Suri, and on October 28th, The Everlasting by Alexi Harrow, 2 books about lady knights. And then 2 books coming out on November 11th that I'm pretty stoked about. Number 1 definitely being The Strength of the Few, which is the sequel to The Will of the Many, and the other one is Brigands and Bread Knives, which is the sequel to Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. So those are all the new releases that I'm so really looking forward to this year. Question number 4 is, what are 3 books that you want to finish before the end of the year? Obviously, Mask of Mirrors. I would like to read this entire series. I have books 2 and 3 up here on the shelf as well. So this is something that I definitely want to be able to say I've read the whole Rook and Rose trilogy before the end of 2025. I also still have several classics that I need to read if I want to hit my goal of reading 8 classics this year. And one that's high on my list is Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. I've only ever read A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, but I really, really thought that that was very well written and very fun to kind of fall into a story that I know so well from so many adaptations that I've seen over the years. So I'm excited to see if I will like Charles Dickens' writing as much in a different story. I recently talked about this book in my priority sci-fi books that I want to read, but A Memory Called Empire by R. Katie Martin is one that I'm really looking forward to. I also have to read a book that has the word memory in the title for the Buzzword Readathon Challenge, so that's something that will both hit a priority sci-fi read and fulfill a buzzword reading prompt. Question number 5 is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? And absolutely, yes, of course. I don't only read good books at the beginning of the year. Every time I pick up a book, there's an inkling that it could be like a new favorite book, right? Like, I don't just pick up books I don't think I'm gonna like. So yeah, I think there's a ton of potential for new to me books to become a new favorite. I may or may not get to all of the new releases I just talked about, but I certainly hope so. I also haven't gotten my hands on Catabasis yet by R.F. Kuang, which came out in August, but my library hold as of right now is only like a week or two away. So hopefully by the time you see this video, I'll be reading that book. And yeah, I just have other things on my TBR that I'm still excited about. So definitely any book could still be my favorite book of the year. Although they will have to be quite exceptional to knock down some of the ones that are already in my favorites of the year. And question number 6 is, have you already started making reading plans for next year? And yes, absolutely, of course. I am a booktuber. This is what we do. I definitely was not this type of reader. I did not plan any reads in advance before I started a booktube channel, but I've been doing this for over 3 years now, and it comes with the territory, at least for me. I know not every booktuber is the same, of course, but yeah, I have a ton of plans for what I want to read next year. I already, like I mentioned, my priority sci-fi reads, I really would like to make sci-fi a higher priority going into 2026 and try to knock fantasy down a little bit in terms of how much it dominates my reading experience. Definitely going to prioritize a lot of sci-fi. It's hard to determine all of my reads for the upcoming year until the year has already started, because I do really enjoy participating in the Buzzwordathon reading challenge every year, which I won't find out what those prompts are probably until December or possibly January. And then there's also the r/fantasy bingo card, which that isn't on a calendar year cycle. It is on a April through March yearly cycle. And so at the beginning of 2026, I'll definitely be trying to wrap up whatever squares I have left for r/fantasy bingo, and then whenever the new bingo card is published, that will help me determine some of my reads for the remainder of the year. So yeah, those are just the thoughts that I have rattling around right now about the end of 2025, looking forward to 2026. Let me know if you do this tag below. Be sure to link it so that I can watch it as well. And as always, thanks so much for hanging out and tuning in. Please be kind, read books, and hit the subscribe button below for more bookish content to come. I'll see you again soon.